Hi everybody, Tammy Bishop here, your community educator, and I am creating this video. I don't usually like to feature in my videos, but today I really feel the need to reach out and reconnect with everybody. Just touching base around culture and customer service, and just understanding the uniqueness and connectivity between culture, customer service, and resident happiness. So without each of those, having a strong culture, a really powerful, positive customer service experience, we lose connection with the residents. And this is, I can't even stress how important it is for not only the joy in the work that we do, but for resident satisfaction and just feeling like we've done a good job at the end of the day, just feeling proud of the work that we're doing. So I want to touch base on just a few different aspects of customer service and possibly how we could do things better. Maybe you have some good ideas or suggestions. I would love to hear your feedback. But on average, I just want to throw this out there. For every happy customer, one happy customer will tell 9 additional people. On the other hand, an angry customer is going to tell an average of 16 people. Okay, so for all of the good that we do, when we have a negative aspect or a negative experience, that negative experience is going to be shared with 16 additional people. And that impact can be pretty substantial, and it reflects on our work. So I'm going to kind of overview a few things that I think we could all work on. Maybe some things that could be helpful, little tips. So just some very fundamental things. Hopefully I haven't hit click on the video as of yet, but just being polite. Manners. You know, when we're going into a resident's room, always announcing that you're coming in, talking the resident through the procedure. If you have somebody who is incapacitated, is not able to answer, still treating them like a human being. It is the respect that we share with each other, even if they can't answer. We know at end of life, the last sense that you lose at end of life is a sense of hearing. So they might not be able to respond, but they can hear the respect in your voice. Something else, just feeling the need to exceed. Instead of just walking in and doing the bare minimum and walking through our tasks, it's really going above and beyond, making sure that resident knows how special they are, taking care of each other. Again, it's not just about the residents. We've got to support each other. We've got to jump into every task. We need to really exceed expectations, both of our team members and of the residents. It's hard. We've been in the COVID pandemic now for almost a year, and you're exhausted, you're tired, you might be feeling unappreciated. I can tell you 100%, I know Sarah and her team, they just are exhausted too, and they are trying their hardest to keep everybody happy. And I know it's a tough battle, but we've got to do this together. We're almost there. So just hang in there and just taking care of each other, really asking, somebody comes through the door, how you doing? You okay? And then showing up to work with a smile. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes you got to take a moment. You have to separate yourself, go into a different room. I know we've got stuff going on at home. We could have had a really hard day with a resident, could have had a hard day with a staff person, a supervisor, but it is not the resident's fault. When we walk into a room, we want to be able to lighten up their day. Remember, they haven't been outside those rooms, especially in assisted living. We need to show them every human connection we can possibly share in that time that we are with them. And a smile is one of the best things you can do to light up their day. So, all right, another thing, just follow through. You know, if a resident is asking for a cup of tea, just trying to make that due diligent. If you can't get that task done, have and ask somebody else to follow through. just making sure that you are following through with things that residents have requested, or even staff members or team members. And if you can't do it, then delegate. That's part of our role too, is to help delegate and support each other. Just taking a moment, again, like I said, when you come into a resident's room, knocking, announcing, saying, hey, how you doing? And just engaging with them. And I listened to this great webinar the other day, and it was about rehab. It was fall prevention, and she called it the love walk. So when you walk into a room, instead of just blindly walking in, imagine that that's your grandmother. Imagine that that is your, mom or dad or somebody who could potentially be her in that space. When you do a love walk, your radars are all on. You're looking for anything that could cause them harm. So having that perspective, really observing the environment. So when you walk into that resident's room, think about that love walk. Do they have that pendant that they can get help? Do they have everything they need in place? Have you made it feasible that they're going to have a good experience when you leave? And a very simple thing before you leave a room, ask that resident, hey, is there anything else I can do for you right now? I know in your head you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this. But the reality is you're going to save yourself a trip in the end because you gave them the courtesy. And it is such a beautiful customer service piece, is to just ask them, can I do anything else for you before I leave? It makes them feel valued. And so, those are some simple fundamental things. I was going to tell you too, especially when you're in that room with that resident, again, being empathetic, understanding, really listening to what they're saying. Sometimes we get those blinders on because we're so task-oriented, we forget to just be in the moment with that resident and really hear what they're saying. Sometimes they might not make a lot of sense, and sometimes if you're really listening, something's off. There could be a medical issue going on. There could be something out of whack, So again, really paying attention to those special things that the residents are saying, being empathetic, not just sympathetic, empathetic, understanding, connecting with their feelings, just putting your best foot forward. And then a final thing that I think is really important too when it comes to customer service is anticipating the residents' needs. Okay, so again, you're going to save yourself time. If you know at 2 o'clock, this resident always needs this, surprise them. That is truly what we call exceeding expectations. Showing up, oh, look what I found for you today. Maybe it is taking somebody's lunch out of the lunch bag that they've had for the last 6 months and actually putting it on a tray for them. Some people might get such a thrill with having it on a plate. There's all of these very simple little things, bringing tea to somebody that they don't typically have tea, just sitting down and having a conversation just for 5 minutes, or asking another staff, life enrichment staff, to come and join somebody who seems a little off. But just taking that time to anticipate somebody's needs. All right. And, when it comes down to it, it's about that wow factor. So a final piece of customer service that sometimes I think we forget is when our residents have visitors, they're our guests too. We can't forget that they are guests. If they walked into a hotel, if they walked into a restaurant, they would be welcomed. They would be asked if they would like something to drink. Would you care for a snack? So when we have residents that are coming in to visit their spouses, and even somebody who's at end of life, offer them a beverage. Ask if there's anything you can do for them. Would you like a blanket? Again, they are our guests, and it is our responsibility to make them all feel welcome in this home. I hope this was valuable. Have a great day.